Hi, I'm Graham MacKenzie, a pharmacist here in Quebec, Nova Scotia, and welcome to my tour. We're going to visit various sections of the grocery store, and I'm going to make suggestions as to what I think you should start incorporating into your diet, as well as some things that maybe you might want to leave out. I talk to people in the pharmacy all the time that are unsure as to how to eat, and they're also intimidated by health food stores. What follows here is basically the same information I give them every day. Most of the people I talk to realize that the key to improving their health and their weight is to cook most of their meals at home. In order to do that, you need to go to the grocery store and you need to know what to shop for. I'll help you make comparisons and make choices so that you and your family can eat healthier. Let's get started. One of the first concepts I go over with patients at the store about their diet is the idea between conventionally grown and organically grown produce. Now, why would anybody spend more money on organically grown produce? Well, it's grown without pesticides, synthetic fertilizers, sewage sludge, genetically modified organisms, and ionizing radiation. So there's less exposure to chemicals and pesticides for you and your family. There's also some other things that may be put into it, like dyes, to make it look riper in the store. These things can cause sensitivities, and these have been proven to make some medical conditions worse. And these organic things apply not just to produce, but to other things you use every day: shampoo, toothpaste, deodorant, and a whole host of other things like cleaning supplies that you would use every day in your home.
So how do you know the difference? Most stores will have very clear signs. You can also look at the fruit or vegetable for a sticker label. Organic will have a label that has 5 digits and begins with the number 9, whereas a conventionally grown non-organic piece of fruit or vegetable will have a 4-digit number and will begin with the number 4. Genetically engineered starts with an 8. In Canada, the PLU, or Product Lookup Code system, is voluntary. It's helpful if someone picks up a non-organic product and puts it in the organic bin.
Organically grown produce doesn't always cost more. Sometimes it costs more, sometimes it costs the same, and sometimes it even costs a little bit less. I like to give my customers a couple of lists to go by when they're in the grocery store. One of the lists is a list that you always want to buy organic because of the level of pesticide residue that is on that produce. The other list is a lot cleaner and safer to buy when it's not organic.
Apples are on the always buy organic list.
Most of us don't eat enough fresh fruits and vegetables. We absorb vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients better when the food is in its natural form. When you're picking out the produce, keep in mind the 2 lists I just mentioned regarding pesticide content. Organic is always best. Look for a good broad range of color, good texture, and look for stuff that's in season and produced locally. Let's move on to the greens. As you recall, greens are on the list of foods that you should always try to buy organic, and they're one of the most neglected foods in our diet. Examples include kale, collard greens, mustard greens, Swiss chard, arugula, romaine, and bok choy.
Let's move on to some other colors of produce. Red, high in nutrients and phytochemicals. Examples are radishes, red peppers, pomegranates, tomatoes, strawberries, apples, cherries, and watermelon. Orange, such as oranges, carrots, and sweet potatoes. Benefits of vision, bone growth, healthy skin, and cardiovascular system. They contain beta-carotene, vitamin A, C, potassium, fiber, folate, antioxidants, and phytochemicals. You can bake sweet potatoes with olive oil, cinnamon, and agave nectar and eat at the end of your meal. They taste like dessert with a pumpkin pie texture. Try making sweet potato fries by cutting sweet potatoes into strips and baking at 400 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes. Yellow, such as yellow squash, lemons, and yellow peppers. Keep lemons on hand to add flavor and for cleaning. Use freshly squeezed lemon juice when making soup stocks. Acid will help leach calcium from chicken and meat bones, making a calcium-rich broth. Chop organic peppers, onions, squash, and carrots and roast with olive oil for 1 hour for a delicious vegetable dish which can be reheated for days. White. Onions and garlic are often called pharmacy foods. Artichokes, fennel, parsnips, ginger, and cauliflower. They reduce cholesterol and blood pressure. Onion, garlic, and ginger are antibacterial, antifungal, and high on phytochemicals and natural antibiotics. Purple blue. Eggplant, beets, purple cabbage, blueberries, and blackberries. They're rich in antioxidants, fiber, and vitamin C. They prevent early signs of aging and heart disease, and they're good for memory. Beets are high in natural sugar as well, and great for sugar cravings. And they're high in iron and folate as well. Great steamed or sliced, you can roast them in the oven with olive oil and sea salt or put them in salads.
I'm going to introduce you to a new type of food that you may not be that familiar with, sea vegetables. Now, why would anyone consume sea vegetables? It's because they have the broadest range of minerals of any food. They have B vitamins and all of the minerals in the ocean, which are the same as those in human blood. There's over 75 species, and they're all great for detox. They have vitamins, minerals, protein, and they're low in calories. They also have compounds that are good for cancer protective properties. Now, you may consume sea vegetables every day without knowing it in products like salad dressings, puddings, ice cream, even toothpaste. This is one group where you want to be sure to buy organic when you're buying this type of food. They're great from soups to stews, salads to stir fries. You can eat them as is, but you might want to soak them ahead of time to improve digestibility. And then you can use that water for grains and soups later, or you can water your flowers with them. It's a great natural fertilizer. So examples of this include wakame, nori, dulse, kombu, and there's a couple of other types here I want to show you called chlorella and spirulina. Perfect source of protein, and these come in vacuum seal packs. You probably will put them in the fridge right after you open them. In fact, most of the time you buy them, you'll see them in the fridge section, like the spirulina. Eggs are a great source of vitamin D. Brown eggs or white eggs don't differ in nutritional value, just the type of hen. Although food sensitivities occur with eggs, they're otherwise healthy to eat in moderation. Look for organic, free-range, organic fed, or vegetarian fed and local. Omega-3 eggs are highly perishable and can spoil quicker. Keep in mind that there's a difference between organic and free-range. Organic follows stricter guidelines than regular conventional does in how the poultry are raised, including what they are fed and that they spend time outdoors. The amount of time outdoors is variable, however, but the animals at least have access to outdoors and are cage-free. Salmonella contamination has been shown to be lower in cage-free hens in both conventional and organic settings. The pasture-raised or free-range hens generally spend more time outside, and they eat in grassy areas with insects as food in addition to their feed. They aren't necessarily organic though. There's generally less crowding in these situations and less disease and healthier immune systems. The birds can engage in more natural behavior like dust bathing to clean themselves. So keep in mind that all natural, cage-free, free-range, pasture-raised, and organic all mean different things. The message overall is to raise the birds outside of cages, spend the most time outdoors feeding, and when grain is given, it should be organic. This gives the highest levels of omega-3 in the eggs. A 2013 review of 16 separate studies on the issue of eggs and cardiovascular disease found that there was no increased risk of heart disease in healthy people eating an egg a day compared to those who rarely ate an egg at all. However, the review also found that high egg consumption was associated with an increased risk of coronary heart disease in type 2 diabetics. Of course, type 2 diabetics are already at an increased risk of heart disease. This shows that the case for eggs is not as black and white as some may believe, and may have as much to do with the person eating the egg as the egg itself. Overall, a moderate intake of free-range eggs is likely fine for most healthy people.